structured to cultivate and support positive behavior inside and actually even much more importantly outside of the circle, we believe it's extremely helpful in generating a positive school climate. The next set, or fourth set of theories that are relevant to the use of circles and conferences in schools is the field of positive discipline based on the theory of restorative justice, and you will hear a great deal about this in the weeks to come. The circle is a useful structure for generating and articulating shared values and translating these into a set of common and explicit behavioral norms for conduct within the school community. It's also an effective process for conducting an approach for addressing harm that meets the needs of those who have been affected while promoting accountability and responsibility for wrongdoing. Restorative discipline seeks to build a stronger community by involving all the stakeholders and the whole school community in a positive resolution of wrongdoing and using conflict as an opportunity to strengthen positive relationships. The fifth set of theories relevant for the use of restorative practices comes from the understanding of trauma or adverse childhood experiences and their impact on learning and human development. A trauma-sensitive learning environment is one in which a child feels appreciated and cared for by adults at school. The classroom and school environment is emotionally and physically safe. And clearly articulated standards for behavior are reinforced through positive interventions and relationships with adults and peers. Being in positive relationships, the feeling of being recognized, heard, respected, and valued is itself a form of healing. This is a practice that benefits all children, those who are emotionally healthy and those who are struggling. And it's a way to cultivate the healing benefits of a healthy community that holds the strength to support and nurture all its members through the good times and bad. The final theory is really the embodiment of the practice of mindfulness within the structure of the circle itself. Like the circle process, mindfulness is a wellness technique with a long tradition within human societies. And the circle practice is a mindfulness practice because it encourages participants to slow down and be present with themselves and others. Research on mindfulness within schools shows that simple techniques can greatly improve the quality of attentiveness and calm focus within a classroom. Okay?
Thank you, Carolyn. So we're going to talk now about what we see as the deep-rooted beliefs and assumptions that can support restorative practices in schools. When a vision is strongly rooted in values and principles, there's expansive room for creativity and differentiation for local circumstances. There's no prescription. Each community must find its own way through values and principles to the specific manifestation of the restorative vision for itself. Becoming conscious of those beliefs and aware of their power can enhance the depth and momentum of our work. So we want to talk about our assumptions about human nature and the implications of those assumptions for teaching and learning in a healthy community. Carolyn?
The first core assumption that we hold is that the true self in everyone is good, wise, and powerful. We believe this self is in everyone. It's in you, your students, and the adults you work with every day. The nature of this self is wise, kind, just, good, and powerful. The core self cannot be destroyed. No matter what someone has done in the past, no matter what has happened to him or her in the past, the core self remains as good, wise, and powerful as the day they were born. This model or understanding of the self distinguishes between doing and being. What we do is not the whole of who we are, and we often get confused about this. We mistake the roles we play or the emotions we feel for our core self. Beneath the acts and masks we humans adopt, is a deeper and healthier self. Helping students and all members of the school community tune into the goodness and wisdom of their true self is the first step towards realigning their behavior in the world with this deeper self. Okay?
The second core assumption that we identified for the work that we've done together is really captured nicely in a quote from Albert Einstein, so I'm going to begin with that. This idea that the world is profoundly interconnected. Einstein says, "A human being is part of the whole called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty." When Native people say we are all related, they mean that human beings are connected to all living creatures and are part of the natural world. Traditional African society uses the term Ubuntu to express the idea that each of us is fundamentally a part of the whole. It translates, "I am because we are." We believe this principle reminds us that there are no throwaway kids or people. We cannot drop out, kick out, or get rid of anything without literally throwing away a part of ourselves. By excluding someone, we harm ourselves as well as the fabric of our community. Every suspension and expulsion reverberates through a web of interconnected relationships with unintended, harmful consequences. Because we're connected, what we do to others, we also do to ourselves, although we may not always realize that this is happening. Many wisdom traditions counsel us to act with this understanding in mind. We are all profoundly interconnected. Carolyn?
Our third core assumption is that all human beings have a deep desire to be in good relationships. We believe all people want to love and be loved, and that all people want to be respected. This may not be what they show in their behavior, particularly when they have not been loved and respected by others. But at our core, we all desire to be in good relationship with others. Okay?
Our fourth core assumption is that all humans have gifts and everyone is needed for what they bring. We believe that in human societies, all gifts are indispensable to the well-being of the whole. Within nature, diversity is a source of strength. Interdependence is essential for survival. It is the way of nature. Every cell in our body is differentiated to perform a specialized function that contributes to the whole. This is as true for families as it is for organizations. Different people are needed because different people see and do things differently. We require the contribution of diverse talents, personalities, and perspectives to find creative and innovative solutions to meeting our needs. It takes a sense of humility, realizing that each of us alone does not have all the answers, and a sense of gratitude for us to be open to all the gifts that others bring. Carolyn?
Our fifth core assumption, my personal favorite, is that everything we need to make positive change is already here. We believe that everything we need to make positive change within our school community is already here. This is because human creativity and human commitment are our greatest treasure and our greatest hope. We believe school communities hold rich reservoirs of talent and wisdom that are waiting to be accessed. If we fail to see ourselves as creators of our school culture, we deny the power to change it. We need to learn how to tap into the wisdom and creative energy of all our human resources, students, teachers, parents, extended families, administrators, secretaries, custodial staff, school resource officers, and many more who are present within our community. By doing this, we liberate the potential of our collective power to create the world we desire. Okay?
Our sixth core assumption is that human beings are holistic. Our minds, bodies, emotions, and spirits are in all that we do. These are equally important parts of us as human beings. Each provides ways of knowing and sources of both knowledge and wisdom. Learning is a holistic process engaging body, heart, and spirit, as well as the mind in an integrated process. In this approach to creating healthy schools, we seek to engage all parts of ourselves, our intellect, emotions, spirit, and body. We seek to attend to the needs of each of these parts of ourselves so that we can nurture the multiple intelligences that are a part of the human capacity. Carolyn?
Our final core assumption is that we need practices to build habits that help us connect with our core self. We need practices that help us live in a way that aligns with our values and helps us build healthy relationships in classrooms and school communities. The kind of relationship among students and adults within a school community is a matter of intention. If we choose to nurture positive relationships, they will flourish. We are used to saying the magic of circle is in the practice of circle. Okay?
So these core assumptions are not unique to us, and they're not actually unique to restorative practices either. It's one of the things that I think is very hopeful about the restorative justice movement is that the key ideas and concepts that are the foundation of our work are showing up in lots of different streams of discipline and lots of different work that's out there. These are, however, not the assumptions that most of our social institutions are built on. And so there's constant pressure on us in a different direction from these core assumptions. And so we think that for us, when we were writing Heart of Hope and Circle Forward, it was important for us to spend time just in conversation with each other, struggling to articulate what our core assumptions were and checking that against the thinking about the work itself. So there's some practice suggestions for the end of this session, and the first one is about these core assumptions and invites you to choose a core assumption that has energy for you. And it might be one you strongly agree with or one that you disagree with, and to find a colleague with whom you can have a conversation about that core assumption. And then also to think about, do you have other core assumptions that are important foundation of your work? Because I think that the daily grind of the work in schools often disconnects people from these fundamental visionary principles that motivated people to want to be educators. And so a process of taking the time to think about your own core assumptions and to find others to talk about that with, I think is is really helpful to maintain energy and passion for this work. So in addition to those core assumptions,